can we live healthy for a cause? That's the topic we're going to address today on Flourish-Meant. I'm your host, Tina Yeager. I'm here with Tim Eaton, CEO and co-founder of NutraMedix, a company that manufactures and provides herbal remedies and supplements to over 100 countries worldwide, where it is received by consumers and healthcare professionals. He is a former missionary pilot, and he is the co-founder of this amazing company. I can't wait for him to share his God stories with you. Welcome, Tim. I'm so glad to have you on Flourish-Meant today.
Hi, Tina. Thank you very much for having on your show today. Great to be here.
So tell the audience how you went from being a missionary pilot, which is exciting all in and of itself, to co-founding this amazing company that not only gives us opportunities to improve our health, but it gives back to the well-being and sustainability of all the places where you have touched, in some places that are beyond your physical reach, but you have donated blessings to those places around the world. So talk about that, how that process went for you.
Well, as you said, I did serve as a missionary pilot in the 1980s in Peru, in the Amazon region of Peru. I loved doing what I was doing. I thought I was the luckiest guy in the world. Here I am serving Jesus, serving others, flying around the jungle. And I thought I'll be here until I'm the retirement age of 62. But obviously God had a different plan. But I do look back and I see three main things that God showed me while I was in Peru. Number one, I began to learn about medicinal plants from the tribal groups. So I had the opportunity to spend a lot of nights in villages and just talking with the locals and hanging out with them. And we'd go hunting and fishing and talking, and it was great. But I learned some things from them. I also saw extreme poverty, which is something I'd never seen before. I come from rural Maine originally, and not a whole lot of extreme poverty up there. But lastly, but most importantly, the third thing is my wife. We met on a blind date. My wife's Peruvian, and she loves to tell the story that the first thing I said was, "Hey, I'm single, and I love being single. I don't want to be anything else but single," kind of thing. But that changed quickly, and so we got married. But as we prayed and thought about, okay, what's the next step for us as a couple, we thought a lot about, how can we best serve God? And a lot of the missionaries had left Peru, and the flying had really been diminished, even though I was doing, I think at that time, more flying than the other guys at that time. Now there's ladies down there flying on the mission field. But we decided to go back to the States and start a business with a purpose of funding two ministries in Peru. One was a Bible training center in the jungle to train and support pastors reaching their own people in the jungle. So these are tribal people reaching people in their own tribes. And then an orphanage outside of Lima, Peru, the capital city. So before we ever started a business, we decided what the purpose would be to make the biggest impact for the gospel that we could in Peru. And, I speak fluent Spanish. Obviously, my wife does, but neither one of us, even my wife, will be able to communicate the gospel to people in the jungle like the people from the jungle can. So that's really how it started. The purpose was decided before we ever decided what we would do. We thought about a Peruvian restaurant for about one day. We thought about something in aviation with my background in South Florida, where we moved to. We thought about an interpreting service, which my wife was doing some of that. So we eventually landed on medicinal plants. And so that's how it began. That's how we decided to start the company, and we officially launched the company in January of 1993.
I love that. And I think that's really important for the listeners to hear is that healthy living is great. But if you don't know your why, your healthy living can easily get derailed. Even your business prospects can get derailed. Knowing the cause for which God has called you, that is a bigger cause than just your business profits, is super important to persevering when things get hard. Would you say that has been true for you when you faced difficulties, which I'm sure that you did with such a difficult type of business? Have
Yeah,
you found that God has kept your why in front of you for that?
absolutely. And what I may not have said is we also promised God that we would give at least 50% of the profits to ministry, not just support those two ministries in Peru. And that's where we began. But, you know, I think one of the things that I talk about with other business owners from time to time that seems to be the difficult point is, it's God's business. I mean, just it is God's business. It's not mine. It's for so many people that I've talked to. I said, it's God's company. It's all His. And once you get past that, it just makes it so much easier to let God do what He wants to do in your company. And so many people have said, no, it's my business. I'll give God maybe 5 or 10%, but no, it's my business. So I think that's a really, really important place to get to, is to understand that nothing is ours. We're only stewards of everything that God has entrusted to us, whether it's a business or time or family or things or whatever. And then as we go through life and we put God first and we do business by the book, which is the word of God, then God helps us and God provides and God gives us wisdom and God brings in people. God provides resources, but it's a constant walking by faith and once again doing business God's way. There's a great book out there by Larry Burkett, because Business by the Book. I think maybe even over 1,000 verses in the Bible that instruct us on how to do business God's way. So it's there right in front of us. It's not a secret. God gives us those guidelines, and it's how we treat people. You know, we make a really good quality product, how you treat your vendors, your customers, your employees, everyone you come in contact with, and doing it God's way, honors God. And when we honor God, I believe that He really wants to bless us more. When we praise Him, He wants to bless us. So that's kind of the direction I was going there. But yeah, it's been 31 years of just seeing God work miracles, doing things, and bringing people in that are needed, providing sometimes at the last minute, opening doors, closing doors of opportunity, etc.
So I'm seeing that you are doing things God's way. You're being a good steward business wise. And it also ties in with the fact that we have to be stewards of our health and our bodies. So you have that piece that you're offering to people as well. Can you talk about what you noticed when you met with the tribal people of the jungles that is different about their health and well-being compared to modern, what people consider civilization, which, that's not necessarily true, but what we are doing here in Western culture, in American culture, even in European culture with our health, that's different in our symptomology, our things that we suffer from compared to what the people of the jungles were facing or not facing there. What was different there that you noticed
Well,
that caught your attention?
well, you don't see a whole lot of people eating Oreos in the jungle. So you don't see junk food. So you don't see necessarily a lot of obese people, I would say. But the people in the jungle still have their challenges. They may eat a lot of fish and other animals, but they're eating a lot of rice and yucca and platanos, fried bananas. So even them, they have their issues with blood sugar issues and things like that, but they don't seem to have the eating all the time issues that we have here. But they are using a lot of, when they have health issues, they go to plants, and which is what we used to do here in the United States, 150 years ago. And they go to plants, and they if they have an issue, they have a gut issue. Oh, I'm gonna do the Mapalo. Or if they have this particular issue with can't move their elbow, then they go to the Condorongo or whatever. They if whatever ailment they have, they seem to know what plant to go to. And on one instance, I was on a survival trip learning how to survive in case of the aircraft going down in the jungle. And we were there with some folks from a tribe. So for 3 days, they would show us what to eat and what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink that's out there. Don't eat these red berries. Those are usually not good. But for water, for instance, they said they cut this vine hanging down from the canopy and cut it. It may have been like this big around, and they cut it, and the water flows out of it. And they said this is a good source of drinking water. You're not getting water from the ground, but cut the vine and drink what comes out of the vine. And they said, by the way, we take the bark from this vine and we brew it up and make a tea. And there's this huge long list of health issues that they were using with this vine. And that happened to be the cat's claw vine that we first started selling. Well, it was the first medicinal plant that we sold.
And now you only sell a rare form of cat's claw, and
Right now we sell about 60 products, but we now, another story is that in the late 1990s, after we'd already brought out about 1,000 metric tons of cat's claw, we were the largest providers of cat's claw in the world in the 1990s. We provided it to manufacturers throughout the world. It's a great product, microbial support, immune system support. But we had a shipment come in the late 1990s, and we did a chemical analysis of the lot, and it was very different from all the other lots we brought in for the years prior. And so we come to find out it's a very rare type of cat's claw that was much more potent than what we had been using. So we did a lot of research on it. We worked with a clinic in Eastern Europe, and they found that it was very quickly helping a lot of clients with significant chronic health issues. So we call that Samento. It's been our #1 product now for 24 years. And it's also an ingredient in some of our other products like GlucoMedix. GlucoMedix is a product for metabolic health. It helps to support healthy blood sugar levels, healthy blood pressure levels, and healthy cholesterol levels. We've done a lot of research with that product with the university, and we've had 2 research papers published in peer-reviewed medical journals. So you can actually, your viewers could just type in GlucoMedix research and find that research that's published. The FDA doesn't allow me to tell you where it is, but I can suggest to go look for it. So it's GlucoMedix, GlucoMedix. So that's an example of a product with Samento in it. GlucoMedix.
That's very interesting, because that's probably containing some of the plant-based products that the Peruvian people were turning.
It's a great product that is helping a lot of people right now that want to see some resolution in that area of their lives. So it's something I take every day. I don't have high levels of any of those comorbidities of this metabolic issue, but I don't want to have a high blood pressure issue or high blood sugar issue or high cholesterol issues. So I use it just to maintain healthy levels.
So, when people are considering supplements versus the pharmacology that is widely available here, is there a difference in what they can expect with regard to side effects when they're taking plant-based products as a supplement for their lives?
Well, good question. You know, most natural products do not have any side effects. And one of the things that we do is the majority of our products are herbal, plant-based. We also sell some vitamins and some minerals and some enzymes. So we sell vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K for vitamins, enzymes. We sell serrapeptase, bromelain, nattokinase. We sell zinc and a few other things, but most of them are herbal, and those are the ones that can have a lot of activity. And so we are very careful about doing toxicity studies with universities on all of our products. And so we stay away from anything that has any toxicity at all. As a matter of fact, we were working a couple of universities, one in Ecuador, one in Peru, and they both said, wow, your products have the toxicity of water. So we've developed a novel extraction method where we produce our extracts here in our facility in Jupiter, Florida, and we're able to produce these extracts and create products that have no toxicity. So our products are used by babies, young children, adults, and many of them are drops. So they can take just, a drop, just a small amount, or they can take a drop or full, 30 drops if they're a larger person like myself. I'm 6'6", so I might need more than a small person. So yeah, the whole family are able to take these products, and we stay away from products that have these, because there are some natural products that do have some side effects, and we stay away from those products.
Yes, because herbs are still drugs. They're just herbal drugs. They're more naturally sourced. So
Well,
you have to kind of be careful which ones might interact with other
yeah,
things. So,
yeah, and so yeah, but I mean, when you talk about a lot of pharmaceuticals are derived from plants,
mhm.
but what they'll do is they'll isolate a compound and they'll synthesize that compound and produce a drug and patent it. We're using the whole plant as God created it. That's how we make our extracts from the entire plant. So that's different. So when you're using a component, isolating a component, that's where you start to have side effects.
Oh, so that the way that you're sourcing your supplements is safer than the way
Well,
generally that's
not
done.
necessarily just sourcing, just the fact that we're making an extract of the whole plant. We're not fractionating out a compound and synthesizing it. It's a whole natural plant.
The way that God made it.
Yes,
So
yeah, it is. Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
So I want to get into some more about NutraMedix and your story and all the God stories that you have, the
Sure.
miraculous things that you've done and the charities that you're supporting. But for now, I would love for you to share with everyone how they can get their hands on some of these NutraMedix products and learn more about the company and these amazing supplements.
Sure, you can go to our website, NutraMedix.com, NutraMedix.com. And there are, as I mentioned, actually 59 individual products, but there are bundles of products or kits. We have the neutralizer, which is very new. We have immune support kit, sleep kit, joint health kit, brain health kit. So there are many different kits or bundles of products that you can buy. But many of you will notice a lot of the wellness products that some of your viewers are already taking, like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin K, quercetin, resveratrol, zinc, magnesium. We have a lot of those wellness products that a lot of folks are taking now. Many of the other products you would think very strange names like Banderol, Kumanda, Tacuna. These are all plants from Peru, but the doctors are the ones that know what they are. They've been using them for a long time with their clients that are dealing with some chronic health issues. So a lot of those products you wouldn't necessarily know what they are used for, but there's a little bit of information on the website. Our website is what we call FDA friendly. So you won't find a disease condition. We cannot talk about disease conditions or treating things on our conditions on our website. The FDA does not allow us to do that. So, but there's enough information there to kind of get an idea of what which products would be helpful.
I hope that all of you were inspired to live healthy and do so for a cause, and check out NutraMedix for part of that process of supporting your best health and being able to be generous with the proceeds of that. And of course, I also hope that you will hit subscribe and come back for the next episode of Flourish-Meant.